So, time for May's bullet journal setup. This month the theme is flowers and the color is pink. I started by making a field for the index with a few roses and leaves around the edges. I used my Ecoline brush pen for this, and word to the wise, it might not be the best application for it because it definitely bled onto the back of the page, but also it kind of somehow lifted some of the blue writing on the back of the page into the pink field on this side. I think it has something to do with how juicy the Ecoline brush markers are, so yeah, watch out for that. For the cover page, I wanted to do a floral arrangement similar to the one I did for February, only not in heart shape this time, just a regular wreath. I also wanted to try another Dutch door, but I didn't want to arrange my pages this month to accommodate it, so after I painted the floral wreath, I carefully cut around the flowers and marked the area that was covered by the image. It is a circular Dutch door. I decided to put the index page quote on the areas above and below the Dutch door, this time from Victor Hugo, "Life is the flower for which love is the honey." And then I added the calendar behind the Dutch door with a note section. So no quote for the calendar because of the Dutch door cutout. It's just one quote for the index page and the calendar this time. I'm not sure how I'll like the small boxes I had to make to fit the calendar behind the Dutch door area. There isn't much room to write appointments and scheduled things, but we'll see. It's the best compromise I could come up with so I could avoid rearranging things like I did in March. And this is where I discovered that I really like adding flowers using my two pink Ecoline brush pens, and then using the lighter one to draw a flower shape and then the darker one to shade the centers. And once it was dry, I also went back with my dark pink Staedtler fine liner to draw lines for stamens in the center. After that is the mood tracker. I'm skipping habit trackers this month again since I used them so little last month. A giant flower with 31 petals and a key at the bottom. I also discovered last month that I definitely needed some type of object to fill in for these trackers. I tend to forget to fill in the mood tracker if I have to draw something every day. I didn't do much with the rain in April's layout, unfortunately, even though I thought it was a really cool idea. On the adjacent page, I decided to add my happiness tracker, which I also didn't use much last month, but I'm going to try harder to write something every day this month. Next is the half page of monthly goals and projects and commissions, and the adjacent page this time is self-care bingo. Again, it took me a while to fill in, so I'll insert a picture of it here after I finished it. And I added those flowers that I like doing with the two Ecoline brush markers and the Staedtler fine liner. After that is my 2 pages for YouTube and social media, and then after that is the brain dump page, which this month I am calling the Thought Bloom. After filling in the index with all the pages I marked out, I went on to the first weekly spread of the month. Using a Crayola Super Tip marker, I made lines for each heading for the days of the week. I scribbled an area with my light pink Ecoline brush marker and then made some dark areas with my darker pink and let it sit to dry since those markers are super juicy. And if I were to draw on top while it was wet, the fine liner would bleed, so we'll come back to that later. And once they were dry, I wrote out in monoline the day of the week and the dates. By then, the scribbled color blob was dry, and I went back with my Staedtler fine liner to draw some loose blossoms and leaves on the blob. I was trying to make a slightly abstract pink hydrangea. That was the idea anyway. After that, I added May week 1 at the top and the quote for the week. By plucking her petals, you do not gather the beauty of a flower. And lastly, I thought it looked pretty empty at the top, so I added another scribble next to the words week 1 with my brush markers and drew some more scribbly blossoms and leaves over top with the fine liner. And that's the setup for May 2020. Please like if you're excited for May flowers, subscribe for weekly bullet journal uploads, and until next time, I'll see y'all later. Bye!